Hello fellow crafters, this is Jane Fires, coach number 365 with Fun Stamper's Journey, bringing you another video to show you how to make a stand-up card. It may look difficult, but it's not. I want to also remind you that the Bloom This Way Mini goes until the end of March. On March 31st it goes away. So if there's anything in this particular catalog that you want, you're going to need to go ahead and to get it now. I want to show you the things that are in this project today. One of the things are our watercolor pencils. They all coordinate with our inks and with our cardstocks. Today we're going to use 3 of them, and as I use them I'll tell you exactly what numbers they are. The other paper that we're using, our cardstock, is the Color Splash, and it goes with our watercolored pencils. So we're going to cut this and you'll see that, but we're using this today in our project. The other cardstocks that we're using will be our whipped cream, our raspberry, and our bubble gum. Now I store mine, and I've been asked this, in a plastic bag because then all my little pieces that I have left over I can just stick in, and then I stick all of my plastic bags into a magazine holder so that they fit perfectly. The stamp sets that we're using today will be Hope Rises, which is in our big catalog, and Wonderful Day in the big catalog. Then the ribbon that we're using today is going to be the new ribbon that is in our Bloom This Way Mini, and it is the checkered bubble gum, and you'll see that as I do the card. That has it looks like a little checkerboard, and so this is our new pink satin. You could also, however, use our regular bubblegum satin ribbon, and I'll show you a card using that as well. One of the other things that we're going to be using today is our punch system. And this is our handle, of course, and this happens to be, as you can tell, the butterfly punch set that we're going to use because we need butterflies today as well. And then Fun Stamper's Journey always gives you something free for every $50 that you spend. And so one of the things this month, and it is in our Bloom This Way Mini, are these little butterflies. And 9 of them come in your package, and you'll see that because I'm using some of these today also. They're sticky on the back, which makes it nice. And because they are cork, you can color them with our silks, you can spray them with our Color Splash, you can color them with our pencils. So they're very versatile. The other thing that I want to tell you about today before we start is what's on special this month. And this month, the month of March, we have 3 things on special. We have our mini book, we have our Journey Days clipboard, and our day-by-day flip book. Now our clipboard has the calendars, and you can decorate each of the calendars and then change them every month. Our flip book is like this, and I love mine. This is my flip book, and what I do is as I do classes, I do all of my classes with a handout, and my handout has everything on I've used and the way I've done it. And then I shrink it down, and I'm able to put them on my clipboard. The other thing I like about my clipboard is I can actually make samples and put them on. I can put my color codes on that I've used. I can shrink them like I said. I've got several on here, of course, that I've shrunk down. On this one, I've shown here our modeling paste, and that was in a card that we did also. So I really love my flip book, and I know that you will love them too. You can go to my website at www.funstampersjourney.com/angelhugs and find all the products that I will use today. Okay, fellow crafters, here are the 2 cards that I wanted to show you, and then I'll go ahead and do them so you can see. On this particular card, as you can see, I have used the cork butterflies, and this is our checkered ribbon, and it really does look like a checkerboard, and I've simply put it in a double knot. Now this card, as well as the other one, will stand up because I've put one of our cut rhinestones there. The other card, which is basically made the same way, only has the pink bubblegum butterflies, and it has a regular satin butterfly or buttergum ribbon, and it also will stand up because we've used one of our cut rhinestones. All right, let's get started now. The first thing that I did is cut all of my cardstock exactly the way I wanted it. This happens to be our color splash cardstock. And when you get some of this, you will find that it's thicker than regular, and you can see a texture in it. This is the one that we're going to stamp our flower on. And so first off, I'm going to stamp my flower using black licorice. Now, when I do this, and when I do it as a class, I suggest, although you really don't have to, but I suggest to my ladies that they go ahead and they stamp their flower first. And then they can go ahead and put the base card together and just let that sit to dry. Now, I want to show you, because I've already done one so that we're ready to color. Here are two of the flowers that I did on watercolor paper, and I have these finished so that you could actually see the finished card. Because what I like to do after I've done these is I like to go ahead and let them sit to dry before I put them on my card. Now, my base card is a regular size, 5.5 by 4 1/4, and of course I folded it, so it's technically 8.5 by 5.5, and I folded it this way. Now, I've already on the back of my white cardstock and my cranberry, or my raspberry, I've already put my tape. And of course, I've got to use my bloom tool because it's my go-to tool for everything. And I will peel off the backing to my white liner. I love the white liner tape. It sticks like really well, and I've never had a problem with it. So what I do is I put down where I want it onto my card base, and then over the top of that will go my white. Now, I will have all of the sizes and everything that I've used on my blog. And my blog is janie-angelhugs.blogspot.com. And you'll be able to see the video there as well as on YouTube. But on my blog, I will have all my measurements so that you'll know exactly. So there's my white down. Now I'm taking a piece of bubble gum that I have already scored, and I have my tape on it. I am simply taking off the top piece of tape. And yes, I should have done this part first. So I'm going to peel off the top part, and then I'm going to lay this in about a 1/2 inch inside of my card. Because when I put my other piece on, I need this to be able to stand up. And I'm putting this right at the edge of my fold, and then I'm putting everything down, and with my crease tool, I am creasing everything so that it will stay down extremely tight. So now that I have that done, I am now ready to put on my other piece of raspberry. You can see that I already have my tape down because I only want the bottom part of my raspberry to stick. I do not want the top to stick because I need it to stand up. So what I'm going to do is peel this tape off, this backing, and then put this so that I have a nice edge at the bottom. Because remember, the top part isn't going to show really when it stands up. And I want the two sides in my bottom to be even. So I've put it down. Now it will stand up, as you can see, okay, when I'm ready for it to stand up. So that part's done. Now I'm going back to my watercolor piece. And my watercolor splash pencils that I used are number 36, number 20, and number 21. These are the color splash. You can tell they're color splash because of the blue color, which of course shows water. I'm going to start with number 36. And how I've done mine is I've gone over where my stamp has been the darkest, those little lines that are in here, and I just have gone over all of those, or at least most of those, because then I'm going to move my color around with water. And because I don't want to really soak it, I'm going to take my little cup of water, and I'm using our blender pen. And so remember, if you have more than one, you want to mark your water one, because you don't want to use the water one for anything else. So I just get some water on the tip of it, and now I'm going to move my color around. As you can see, my color is moving. And it doesn't take a lot of water to do this, but if you want more, you can just go in and pick up a little bit more and keep on moving your color around. I think I need a little more water here. Okay, so I'm moving my color right around to where I want it, and you can tell when I do this, I can adjust my color on my flower. Now, if there's some place on my flower that I want more color, I can pick it up with my water brush and just right off of my pencil tip and put it back onto my flower where I want it. But I don't think I want this one any darker on most of my petals. I think this will be dark enough once I've moved my color all around. However, there may be a couple of places that I didn't put my color on my black lines from my stamp, and so on those places I may very well want a little more color. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm going to go right to my pencil and pick up some of my color. Then I can take it right to my stamp, my picture that I've stamped already. And I can go back in where those little lines are that I didn't put any of the darker color on, and I'm able to add more color to it. And this is really whatever you want to do. I mean, this is your card, this is your design. Okay, I think that one looks good. So now I'm going to clean my brush. So I always have a piece of paper towel right handy so I can clean it off. Now I'm going to take my lightest green, which is my number 20, and I'm going to color my leaves. And again, as I color them in, I'm going to move my color around with my water. Stem and the leaves. Now, I always color in a circle because that's how I was taught to color, and that's how I've taught all my students to color. Then I take my water brush, get a little bit of water on it, and I'm going to move my color around. So it's like I'm blending my color. So you can't really see where my color starts and where it ends because I've just blended it around. And that was my lighter green. And very carefully I'm going to go through its stem. And to me, very honestly, the stem is the hardest part because it's the smallest part. So do my little leaf at the top. Okay, now that I have that blended, where my stamp has the black part, I want to go over it with number 21 because that will give it green and it will give it just a little darker color rather than just my stark black. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit there and there, and it just adds that little bit of dimension, and it looks more like your real leaf in real time. And then, not putting any more water on my brush, I'm just going to blend it in a little bit. And so there's this one finished. Now I'm going to let this set aside because if you were here you could see that it's bubbling like a little bit. That's because of the water. Once it dries, it will be completely flat. So I'm going to set that one aside and let it dry. Then I'm going back to my base that I've already put together here, and I need to stamp my words on the right side. And the words that I've used for this one our Happy Easter. And so I'm going to ink up with black my Happy Easter. And I like to stamp at an angle when I'm using like the butterflies. So I've stamped my Happy Easter right there, and you can see all of it when the other side is closed as well. And then on here, I'm going to take one of my cards that I've already stamped in color that were dry, and I'm going to the back, and I'm going to add to it some of my white liner tape. And I love our tape, and it is tearable, which means it rips, not that it's bad. So with my bloom tool, I'll go across my tape so that I can get off my backing. And then this goes onto the center part of my little cranberry piece that I've already put onto my card. Once I have it down, now I'm going to take my ribbon. And I really do like the new checkered ribbon. And it is a satin finish. So I'm going to take a piece of my ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around my small little card. Now for this I don't need a lot of ribbon because I'm going to tie it in a double knot. So to give you another tip, when you're tying a knot, y'all only have two hands. So what I do a lot of times is I go ahead and I have a little hair clip that I put in there, and that will hold my first knot so that then I can use both hands and go ahead and make the rest of my knot. Now I pull it tight, but then I gradually pull my little clip out until it's all the way out and I can make the knot as tight as I want. Now I need to put a nice edge on my ribbon, and so I want 2 points, so I'm going to fold my ribbon, and from the raw edge, the edge that it doesn't have the fold but the other one, I'm going to clip in, and when I do, you can see I have 2 points. So I'll do the same on the other side. And there's my ribbon. Now my butterflies. And for the sake of time, I've already cut out 3 butterflies. But because I really do like our free gift, we're going to use these again. So what I've done is I have taken my biggest cork butterfly and I'm going to put him down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to take one of our small foam squares, and I'm using right here the medium butterfly that I punched out, and I'm going to put the foam square on the back of it. And I'm going to center it on my cork butterfly. Now what I've done is I've put my 3D foam square here on this side because then I can kind of lift that side up a little bit. But now I need some bling to it. So I'm going to take one of our medium cut rhinestones and I'm going to put it right in the center of my little pink butterfly. So there's the bling on him. I'm going to take now one of my smaller cork butterflies and I'm going to put him up at the top, or her, whichever you want. And on it I'm going to put my littlest punched butterfly, but I've got to cut one of my little foam dots in half because that little butterfly, he's pretty small. And I'm going to put it right in the middle. take my backing off and line him up in the middle of the smaller cork. And on him, I will put a small little cut rhinestone. So on this one, I have the 2 of them instead of 3. Now I could, because I do have a bigger butterfly, but my cork, I have only the 2 sizes in cork, but I could put him, if I wanted to, up here somewhere. But I like it just like that. However, I need him to stand up. So what I'm going to do is take and see where it stands without a problem, right there. And I'm going to put one of the big cut rhinestones right there, because then my card will stand up so that you can see the rhinestone. Now, when I go to mail it, obviously, all I've got to do is put it down and it will mail in a regular envelope. Put it up and I've got a stand-up card. If you have any questions, you can email me at serif, SERIF1 at AOL.com, or go to my blog and email me from there. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you'll try it, because although I've made it into an Easter card, it makes a very nice birthday card. It also makes a cool thinking of you card. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a great and blessed day.